Hi songwriters. Today I want to talk about how to be clear and direct in your lyric writing. Have you been told to be direct and clear in your lyric writing? This is something that I used to be told a lot. I would say in the first 7 or so years of my songwriting. It might have been the feedback I got more than any other feedback. People would say to me, I like your lyrics, but could you be more direct? I like your lyrics, but could you be clearer? And this feedback never did much for me because I felt I was being clear. I felt I was being direct. And in a sense, I was. I was being honest. I was being true. I was saying things in the most point A to point B way that I thought to at the time. My real epiphany around this came one day when I was reading back through my lyrics and I realized that every single song I'd written had the same sort of voice. This voice is something that I now affectionately refer to as Rachel Poetic Voice. So yeah, no matter whether the song was joyful or sad or angry or irreverent or snarky, no matter what the intention of the song, no matter what the mood of the song or the tone of the song, the voice in every single one of these songs was the same. And it was this sort of ethereal, dreamy, cerebral, thoughtful, reflective, nuanced. It was true to the way I speak to myself in a sense, but there was also a falseness in it because it was a voice that I seemed to be assuming when it was time to go to lyric. So I started really watching that in myself, and that maybe was the biggest step forward I've ever made in my lyric writing. In my coaching for many years, I was not hip to this in others' writing. I could definitely tell that no one else was using Rachel Poetic Voice, so I didn't sweat it. But what I've started to realize in the last couple of years is that Katie has a Katie Poetic Voice, and Peter has a Peter Poetic Voice, and Jason has a Jason Poetic Voice. These are not names of my actual artists that I work with. Their names have been changed to protect them. But believe me, there is a Katie, a Peter, and a Jason. Everybody, almost everybody, nearly everybody that I've worked with has a voice that they assume when it comes time to go to lyric. So this is what my songwriting coaching sessions often look like now, and it's absolutely what they looked like this week, which is why I thought to make this video today. If a songwriter is struggling to figure out what exactly the lyric is, then we'll get talking. I'll start to ask her questions. I'll start to get her closer and closer to the real essence of what it is that she wants to communicate, the real urgency, the real juice for her. Eventually, she will start saying absolutely beautiful, amazing things. It's really without fail. There's this moment where it's like all the colors in the room become more vibrant and all the words are shining. All the words carry potency. And I will start to say, oh, that. And I'll repeat the words back and I'll say, write that down. And we'll go on like this for like 5 minutes. She'll talk a few more sentences and then she'll say something else that just has that potency. And I'll say, oh, that one, write that down. And she writes that down. And then we have like a list of 5 things. Okay, this is the crazy part. Then I'll say, okay, so read me what you wrote. Really, I would say like 90% of the time, it's not the things that I asked her to write. So, okay, a few of my favorite things that were said this week. There was this one moment this woman said, I'm just trying to get back to that 5 minutes in 1996. I loved that. So I said, write that down. And someone said, I just want to go home. It was so simple, but it was sort of the most honest thing that he said in this whole stretch of time. And I thought it was just beautiful. Someone said, there's not some big moment when it happened. And I thought that was just so honest and pure. And then here's the last one I took a note on. There's no good way for this story to end. I loved that as just this super honest reflection on even the process itself. So those were things I said, hey, write that down. Go to press on that. And then what I heard read back to me, it was like, how I long for my memories. Or like, I'm caught in the haze of missing you. And when someone reads that back to me, it's like, wait, what? That wasn't what you said. And then they'll say, what did I say? And then I'll say it again. And I'll say, literally, write that down. And then eventually they'll see the beauty in it. But there's this process by which I think each one of us, we take our language and we put it through our own personal little poetry machine, which ironically takes it completely away from the poetry. So here's my message today. Poetry is not a thing that we paint on our words. It's not a softening of our words. It's not an adornment of our words. It's not an obscuring of our words. It's actually the opposite process. It's the taking of our words and scouring them down to their very essence. It's taking them and shaving them into shivs. This is getting violent. But at the very least, it's not doing anything with our words. It's letting them be just what they are. So how do we do this? How do we get those words, those pure, those clear and direct utterances, how do we get those on the page? Because this process of putting them through our personal poetry machines, it's so quick. We don't even know we've done it. I see it happen. It's so fast and it's completely unconscious. I feel like there's 2 ways to do this. The first way is, I guess you hire me and I sit there with my butterfly net and I capture all the amazing things you say before you hear them. Or the second way is that we learn to catch our own words before we hear them, and we somehow go to press with them before they have a chance to go through our poetry machines. So I hope this gives you a little bit more of a sense of, I think, what people are asking for when they ask for clarity and directness. It's not as simple as you might think, but it is a project well worth undertaking. Okay, good luck, songwriters, and thanks for listening.